Welcome back, Movie Misfits, and today we're going to be doing a quick review on Monster Hunter, which was released in December of 2020. Monster Hunter stars Milla Jovovich, Ron Perlman, Tony Jaa, T.I., Meagan Good. But Milla Jovovich is not fighting zombies or the Umbrella Corporation. She is now fighting giant monsters. I won't go into any spoilers of the film. I'll just give a brief introduction and then I'll give my suggestions and my rating. So Milla Jovovich is a lieutenant in the military, and her troops are going through the desert, and looks like to be some sort of exercise, or they're looking for something, or it looks like they were separated from another group that disappeared sometime off screen, and it looks like there's this bad storm coming their way, and basically the storm sucks up Milla Jovovich and her troop into another dimension. Basically, we already know this is a different dimension because there's no road. They're just in the middle of the desert, which basically looks like an ocean, but just with sand. And what appears to be the Tremors monster is actually going through the sand trying to get them. So basically, Milla Jovovich and her troops are trying to go across the sand and not get eaten. And they're trying to find some rocks to climb on to get to the safe zone, just like you would in a Tremors film. And while some of her troop are getting eaten by this thing or just trying to survive on this rock with Milla Jovovich, as soon as nightfall comes, giant arachnids come out of the caves. So now they're running from not only the Tremors monster, which is waiting for them in the sand, they're also running from arachnids of the night. We're introduced to a new character who seems to be a native of this land over here, this different dimension. And he kind of reminds me of what Rufio would have looked like if he wasn't killed. So I'm like, Rufio didn't die. So Lieutenant Jovovich gets captured by Rufio over here. And he basically helps her survive while in hiding from either the giant arachnids or from the Tremors monster. And every day that she's captured, and every day it seems like her and Rufio have a daily fight. And the fight is actually pretty cool. The fight scenes between Milla Jovovich and Rufio are actually pretty cool. I keep calling him Rufio, but the actor's name is Tony Jaa. But when you see his costume and then when you compare him to Rufio, the costumes and everything, I'm like, oh my god, he grew up. The fight scenes were actually done very well, and the fight scenes were very entertaining, and after a while it became a little funny because it started reminding me of the old Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies, basically where he was fighting with his ward every day, and it just became funny. That's the first thing I thought of. However, it was very enjoyable. What I did enjoy about the film, as much as there was a lot of CGI, there was also a lot of actual filming locations. So the location that they were filming at looks like it to be somewhere in South Africa. I like the way they blended that with the CGI. So I felt like it was a good use of both location and also CGI and also some practical effects. So I did enjoy that the studio combined all three things. So basically, Milla Jovovich figures out that she needs to escape from this land to get back to her dimension. And she basically figures out that she has to go across the desert, across the Tremors monster, and also across the arachnids in order to get back to the same thunderstorm that took her from her dimension into this one. So she basically figures out she needs to go there. So we're introduced into a training montage where she learns how to fight, and she learns how to use some other dimensional weapons. One sword that she uses looks like the giant version of the first Blade from Supernatural. Ron Perlman is then introduced to the film, and Ron Perlman never disappoints. The wig that they gave Ron Perlman in this movie was great. It almost reminded me if they were to make a Old Man Lion-O movie, Lion-O being from the Thundercats, Ron Perlman would be it. So seeing Ron Perlman on screen was very cool. So I'm not going to go into any spoilers and I'll end the review. This film was actually very fun. I was actually very surprised. This film was actually lots of fun. It had great CGI. It also had good practical effects. And they also had a lot of great use of actual locations. It was nice to see Milla Jovovich kicking some butt again. And it was also nice to see Ron Perlman and other characters in this film. I wish I would have seen this in the theater because the big atmosphere, big scenes, big locations probably would have been worth the ticket price. So it's definitely worth the rent. I would give Monster Hunter a B-. I'm Mike the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.